Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here coming at you with Game 4 of Group B of the 2004 Ever OSL. And in case you are blind and did not see the title of this video when clicking on it, you may be intrigued to discover that this is a duo commentary with Rise. Welcome, Rise. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic, and I'm happy to be back at it. And nothing better than watching the mantoss himself go up against Yellow. This is going to be a fun match.
This is going to be super exciting. And if you didn't catch it already, I mentioned it before in one of my videos, but if you missed that, I did a couple commentaries with Rise on his channel, I guess maybe 4 or 5 days ago. And so definitely go check those out. Rise has been doing some like more modern commentaries of like high-level foreign players and stuff. It's really, really cool. So I remember at the live event, a lot of people were like, when's Diggity coming back? When's Cholera? When's Rise? Well, guess what? Rise is back! Go check him out, ladies and gentlemen. Check out, I'll put the link in the description in case you're not subbed to him, although I think we share a lot of the same subs from back in the day. But yeah, Rise, tell me what you're thinking about this game.
First off, this map is Mercury, and it is ridiculous. I am looking at it while we're watching the game start off here, and I can't really make heads or tails of how you even get from one base to another. And I'm sure there was a time where this map was semi-popular, but man, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. It looks like it's a fairly long walk, so I wouldn't expect any super fast rushes. We're not seeing that coming out of Yellow yet. It looks like he's going for a pretty standard expansion, and wow, that expansion is 1.5 miles away from his main base, or maybe he's looking for proxies there. Actually, it doesn't look like he's putting a hatchery down there quite yet. So yeah, I'm real interested to see what type of play style they decide to go. I could certainly see something like Muta's working really well on this map, as you've got a lot of gaps between landings that you can walk around, and that middle area gives you a lot of mobility where you can't easily get pinned down by dragoons or the like. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this crazy map?
It's been interesting so far, and you were correct. It's approximately 7.3 miles from the main to the natural, and so it's a very, very long distance. There's a little bit of a choke point right next to it with a ramp, so you don't even get any kind of high ground advantage. It's just it's very, very difficult. And don't even get me started on the third base. If we get to these players getting third bases, the third bases are even more difficult to protect. Now this is interesting. We actually have Reach with a Forge in his base. He's getting a gateway down second. I wonder what's with this Forge and a Simulator? Was he planning on going for one build and changed it up based on his scout or something like that? This is a little bit puzzling. He's got an assimilator he's not actually mining from. He's got a Forge that he's not building cannons from. And now he switched into a second gateway. Maybe it was a fake out. Maybe he wanted a drone to scout the Forge and say, oh, this might be a cannon rush or an expansion build or something like that. And now he's going to rush with 2 gateways now that he's faked him out. I'm not sure. This is kind of insane, because he's built 2 full buildings and a simulator and a Forge to fake out Yellow if that's the case. So anyway, yeah, he's building a second gateway, another pylon. No cybernetics core yet, so it looks like he's not going to be using that assimilator. He's just going to be getting a bunch of zealots and trying to catch Yellow off guard, I think.
So was the Forge spinning? I can't tell with the number of pixels that we're watching, but if it was spinning, maybe he's just going for a zealot timing attack.
Oh, duh.
Right, a couple of gateways. If he's got, yeah, it looks like it is spinning.
That's why he got gas.
Now. If anything, he might be going into a speed zealot rush here with 2 gateways to pump him out. I mean, I wouldn't expect it coming, to be honest. I could see a Zerg getting tripped up by this pretty easily. But that Overlord is out and scouting. And what's interesting is it looks like Yellow went for a second expansion already. So wow, there could be a really strong timing here where Yellow is kind of invested in that hatchery. And it looks like he's trying to pump out some lings now to deal with this. But if we get a nice timing here with the +1 attack, it could be brutally difficult for Yellow to defend.
Well, I feel kind of like an idiot now, because it's now kind of obvious that you've pointed out that he got enough gas for the +1 weapon, so he could get a super, super fast +1. And that is look like what he's going to try and do is go for a very, very early +1 attack, timing attack here. And yeah, you're right. Yellow's gone for a third base, or third base, and so he's going to be a little bit vulnerable to this. That third base, the amount of money put into that hatchery could easily be a couple sunken colonies, which would be able to deal very well with these zealots. But instead, he's got an expansion, and as you can see, the expansion, that third base, is way out in the middle of nowhere. There's no choke point at all. So there's not going to be any easy way to defend it. And even if he does put Sunkens at his third base, it's like really quick, like literally a 10-second walk for those zealots to get over to the second base and attack there instead. So he can kind of take his pick. He does have a Hydralisk Den out. He's starting to put out Hydralisks. So hopefully that will be something that he can use to defend this push. But will he go for the push is the question now, because he's been scouted, and it feels kind of like, you know, he's kind of missed his timing a little bit. +1 is finished. He's getting a third gateway. Does he have another base somewhere, or is he's just gonna like go 3 gateway zealots?
He's dedicated to this push, whatever he's deciding. And I mean, I miss one base Protoss play. It's been a long time since I've seen it, to be honest. And it looks like we got speedlings coming his way. So he's got, what, a cannon or so in his main. So if these lings can get by, I mean, with how far out they've got to walk to get back, meaning the zealots back to his base, that would be very difficult to defend. And with just a single cannon there, man, depending on how many lings he sent, they'd be able to take it out. But it looks like we are seeing the switch to Hydras at this point. So again, this timing window is shrinking quickly. I'm very curious how far along the leg speed upgrade is. As he's heading out now, my guess is it's going to kick in by the time he gets there, which will be good against the Hydras, right? I mean, speed zealots.
There it goes.
Yep, there they go. The turbo mode is engaged, and now he's going to be able to engage these Hydras. But that's a decent amount of Hydras. So if that's microed well, and he's got the defensive position benefit of reinforcing, this could be a tough battle for him to go after, and he is going to just dive right into it with some lings in here as well to absorb a couple of hits. These zealots are being taken out very quickly, and this attack is petered out immediately.
Yeah, that was not the best spot at all. The zealots did run in very quickly with their leg upgrades, but they were kind of in a line. They weren't in a horizontal line, they were in a vertical line, so they kind of went in one by one, and the Hydras, which were very, very numerous, got a lot of pot shots on those zealots as they were trailing in, and were able to kill off a couple zealots before they even engaged. So no damage done by this timing attack, and I guess he wasn't expecting this mass Hydra. Maybe he thought Yellow was going to go into Mutas or something like that, but caught off guard, and now the Hydras are bearing down on his base. He's got 1 cannon and 1 Dragoon and a handful of zealots to block those Hydras, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think we're going to see Reach just fall to the 3-base Hydra push that we're going to see right now. The Dragoon gets taken out, the cannon gets taken out, the probes are a little bit too late to the party, and there's High Templar in the background, and that would have been his saving grace. If this attack had happened maybe 20 seconds later and he'd had storms on those Hydras, this would be a very different game, but instead they're pushing right into the main. And Rise, what's your assessment of probes versus Hydralisks? Who do you think wins in a battle of that kind?
It's like, how many chickens does it take to kill a man? I don't know. Probably more than 20. And I think the probes are probably not going to make it out. And Reach scratching his head, trying to figure out what went wrong there. But I think at the end of the day, it's clear that that was just an odd attack.
Yeah, very bad timing in multiple different occasions, I guess, for Reach. Not bad timing like his timing attack was a bad idea, but just bad timing in that, like, he arrived with his zealots at the exact wrong time, and then he got his Templar out just a little bit too late. And you know, it's kind of interesting because if he hadn't attacked with those zealots, and those zealots had been back at his base to defend, then he would have been able to buy enough time for the High Templar to get Storm, and that could have been a very different game, I think.
You know, I just got to say how much I miss seeing the crowd and the shots of the players while they're playing. I mean, if you just look at Yellow real quickly, how cool does that guy look? I mean, man, we're missing that out of like the replays that I'm casting these days. I wish I still had like the first-person view at times where we can like, look at this cool MFer here hanging out playing StarCraft.
Oh, man. Have you ever seen any of the games from, like, 2000, 2001 when they had, like, the sci-fi space uniforms?
Yes, those are the best. Like, they're literally wearing tinfoil hats. That's amazing.
That's right. Oh man, yeah. So the uniforms have been toned down a little bit, but they're still a little bit sci-fi in this era. But they get very streamlined later on. But yeah, I mean, these guys are total badasses, and it's interesting that the game's at this point in time been out for 5 or 6 years, and these guys are already veterans. These are two of the oldest school players that there are. So it's pretty cool to see. But so Reach is going to go down a game, and I guess I don't know if it's even come up on YouTube yet. So I don't think you've personally watched it rise, but in my last game with Reach, I mentioned how he's kind of like the Protoss hope. He's one of 3 Protoss players in this entire OSL. One of them's already been eliminated, and he's probably the better of the other 2. So Reach is the hope for all Protoss players in this OSL, and now he's down 1 game. And well, we know that he did win a game against Good Friends, so he's 1-1 now, and he's gonna have to win another game in order to advance. Otherwise, we could see the Mantoss, the hero Protoss, going out in the round of 16. Yellow, though, he's another story. He's trying to get back into the OSL as well. He actually came up through the offline qualifiers for this OSL. He had to go from the very, very beginning, and yeah, so he's gonna have to put on a good showing as well. So, any case, any further thoughts, or we want to cut it off there and maybe move on to another game?
Oh, I'm excited. If there's anyone who can come back from this, it's certainly the Mantoss. So let's see if he's got what it takes.
Cool. All right, thanks very much for watching. GG.
GG.